why don't they just reach an agreement? The Russian invasion of Ukraine has caused the worst refugee crisis in Europe since World War II. According to the polls, 57% of the EU citizens questioned perceive Russia as a threat to their own countries. But my European friend asks me, why don't they just reach an agreement? Well, let's start with what Putin demands. 1. Recognition of Crimea's annexation as legal and accepting it as part of Russia's territory. 2. Recognition of the separatist republics of Donetsk and Luhansk as independent states. 3. Demilitarization of Ukraine. That's basically making it impossible for us to defend ourselves. 4. A ban on Ukraine's accession to NATO. A change to Ukraine's constitution to commit us to neutrality. And one more demand is what they call denazification of Ukraine. With this one, we don't even understand what they're talking about. The only nationalistic party in Ukraine didn't even get enough votes to make it to the parliament. So let's forget about it. And all of this is an ultimatum. Here is just one example of Russian diplomacy for you. Excuse my language, but we don't give a shit about all their sanctions, said Viktor Tatarintsev, Russia's ambassador to Sweden. My European friend goes on. Why do we have to step in? Well, first of all, because war is just unacceptable. Secondly, in 1994, the Budapest Memorandum on Security Assurances was signed by 3 nuclear powers: Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. China and France also signed the documents. The memorandum prohibited these countries from threatening or using military force against Ukraine, which gave up nuclear weapons in exchange for security guarantees. Now we see that deals with Russia mean nothing. Still, my European friend continues. Russia has the right to safeguard their own interests. Ukraine is not a NATO member. There were no NATO troops in Ukraine. Ukraine was not going to invade our own Crimea or Donetsk and Luhansk. Does this look like a diplomatic solution to you? By destroying Ukraine, Russia demands that NATO remove troops and weapons deployed in the countries that joined the alliance after 1997. Are you in NATO? Russia will tell you what you are supposed to do in your own country. Putin's spokesman Peskov said, "We really are finishing the demilitarization of Ukraine. We will finish it." So why don't they just reach an agreement? Is it possible to reach an agreement with someone who does not want an agreement?